Carlos, welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. How are you doing today, man?
Thanks, Mike. I'm doing fantastic.
It's so great to have you here. This is beyond a dream for me. Just look at you. You're a good looking man. And this is best.
Listen, I get to hang out staring at you and figure out how I'm like you and how you're like me. So I can't think of anything better.
No, this is a great way to start the day. This is fantastic. So, listen, I don't know how, but probably somewhere out there, there's some people that haven't bumped into you before. And so for people that may not have met you yet, who is Carlos Whittaker?
Oh my gosh. If they could maybe help me in therapy figure that out, then I will give them a prize. I am, I'm a husband of 22 years. To my beautiful wife, Heather. I'm a father of 3 kids. They're not kids anymore. They're 20, 19, and 16.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's nuts. And, I write books. I've written 5 books, I think. And then I kind of travel and I talk about the books. I'm a storyteller. I'm not necessarily a preacher. If I'm in a church, I tell stories. If I'm in front of a bunch of CEOs, I tell stories. So yeah, I'm a storyteller, whether that be in my books, on a stage. I probably tell the most stories on Instagram. It's kind of where I'm kind of telling stories. But I think what when it comes to like who I am, as far as like what I do every day, like who the human doing Carlos is, not the human being. The human doing is a guy that that tells stories that lead people towards freedom in some way, shape, or form is what I'm kind of trying to always do. And then the human being piece of me is I'm a husband, a dad, a fly fisherman, a sports addict, all the things. So yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. So the podcast is called Maybe You're Like Me. And something that you see in the world is like you'll be on Instagram or Facebook or watching TV and you see the filtered version of somebody. You see the highlight reel that people are posting on the internet. So if somebody's just watching you on Instagram, who is the low swit they're seeing on the Instagram?
Oh, so like who's that caricature that they see?
Yeah. Who's caricature low?
Yeah. Yeah, that guy is like, I like this question. That guy's like a, super relatable dude. Like he's everybody's best friend. If you follow him on Instagram and you're one of the, 260,000 people that hang out with him every day, you will probably say my friend Carlos when you talk about him, just because he makes you believe that you're like best friends. And so he's that guy. He's like everybody's friend. He's a little bit of Mr. Rogers mixed in with Chris Rock, put together. He's a guy that likes to dig into complicated issues, and have nuanced conversations about them, not super emotional conversations, that sway people one way or the other. He likes to help people. He likes to see people. And he really likes to make the Instagram community more about them than it is about him. And he enjoys it. So yeah, that's that guy.
That's fantastic. My wife's been following you for a few years, and I've been following you for a little while now. And I've been introducing, like when I've been telling people about us doing this interview today, I've been saying my best friend Carlos. Is that
there you go?
Correct?
There you go. My best friend. That is correct, Mike.
BFFs.
Like we're already there. We're already.
Are you
there.
wearing your necklace that I got you?
I left that upstairs. My wife felt uncomfortable if I would like wear it in the interview. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, but as long as everyone out there knows we're besties, and
that's right.
I was in your wedding, you were in mine. That meant a lot to me that you would ask me to do that.
You're welcome, man. Like you're welcome. I'm glad that it holds such a fond space in your heart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You might be thinking this guy's delusional right now and a total idiot. You're not completely wrong. And that's all right.
I love it. I love it.
All right. So on the podcast, we like to do things in a couple rounds of questions. This first round is the first date round, because when you're on a first date, you want to ask the right questions. You don't just want to ask like if you like dogs or cats. You want to ask some good questions.
Yeah.
Try to get to know somebody a little bit better. But you also don't want to ask about like trauma and therapy questions. So we're going to start off a little easy, and then we'll work our way to some more hard stuff. But
now, is this where I'm using these papers or no?
Not yet. That's at the very end. That's be fantastic.
Got it.
So, all right. First day question here. All right. So on Instagram, you've got your followers. You call them the Insta Familia. And I wish, will you say Insta Familia? Because you say it so much cooler than I do.
Oh, Insta Familia.
Ah, man. Nope. I can't do it.
There it is.
I got a lot to start rolling those R's a little better.
It's okay, bro. It's okay. You'll get there.
All right. So, but yeah, you do some cool stuff with your Insta Familia. Like what's the most recent thing you've done that's just been so cool getting to know people?
Probably the most recent thing we've done is we raised $140,000 for 2 Walmart workers and 4, maybe 5 Waffle House workers. So I do these giving blitzes where I'm like, hey, we got 24 hours. Let's see how much money we can raise and just bless some people for no reason, beyond they're just good humans. And so we did that. Gosh, I guess it was 3 weeks ago now. And it was a blast. So it's pretty pumped.
If you're listening and you haven't seen them, go to his Instagram. It's so cool seeing these people just blessing people for no reason is fantastic. But the real question I'm trying to get to here is, you go to Waffle House. What is your go-to Waffle House order? That's the real question. That's the meat of what we're going for.
I was there 2 hours ago to hang out with Stacy. That's the one problem is now that I've given $90,000 to these Waffle House workers. When I walk in there, I get whatever I want. I'm like they're like what do you? It's on the house. But I've gotten the same order at Waffle House since I was 18 years old and I could pay for my own meal. And it's a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich plate, which means you get hash browns.
Okay.
So bacon, egg, and cheese on Texas toast. Okay. Just a breakfast sandwich. And then I get my hash browns scattered well and peppered.
Okay.
So I always tell people, don't sleep on scattered well. That means they spread them out thinly. And then, so they're almost like crunchy, when you get them, and then with jalapenos, pickled jalapenos on them. And then I get a waffle, just a regular waffle on the side. That's my go-to meal.
So, this is what I'm hearing too. I think you're like me in the fact that when I go to a restaurant, I order the same thing every time. Is that you too?
Every time. It doesn't matter. And then every once in a while, like I'll have a wild hair and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try something else. And then I'm always like, why did I do that? Cause all I want is the regular thing.
Yeah. When I go to Waffle House, I always get a pecan waffle, and I used to work at restaurants when I was in college. Yeah. And like 1 a.m, there's nothing that hits like a Waffle House. So
nothing that like Waffle House. Absolutely.
So fantastic. I want to go to Waffle House with you now, and we can order together.
Well, we're best friends, remember? So we can make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'll see you there. And you already had that for breakfast. I'll see you for dinner tonight. Be fantastic. All right. So there's a lot of great things that are happening in the world. Do you have a bucket list of things?
As far as of things I want to do, or
but we'll break this down to a way easier one. Are there any bucket list events you want to go to?
Yes.
What you got?
Yes, absolutely. I want to go to a World Cup. Experience one now. Not unfortunately, the next one's going to be in America, which is fine. I'll go to one of those games, but I want to go to a World Cup in another country. So I'm going to have to wait 8 more years for that. But that's one thing I want to do. I want to go to the running of the bulls. And I used to want to run with the bulls, but now that I'm creeping into the late 40s, I'm like, no more running with the bulls. Let's just go and see it happen.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've wanted to do. I want to go to Rwanda and go hike 8 hours into the jungle and see the gorillas that are way up there. And so man, I got some bucket list stuff, bro.
That's fantastic. Mine, I just want to see Punxsutawney Phil at Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why. I think Bill Murray just made that seem like a fantastic thing to do, but I don't want to actually Groundhog Day though. That sounds horrible.
Okay.
So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that like I want to go to like the opening ceremony of an Olympics. So that sounds like a good time.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think so.
I'm not a big sports guy, so the opening ceremonies is where it's at for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. You want to see the creativeness happening for that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want people flying around, a bunch of people hitting a bunch of drums. That's for me. That's what you want. So
that's awesome.
I never thought about the running of the bulls. And actually when you said the running of the bulls, and I don't know where this is, I think it's somewhere in Italy. It's the festival where people throw tomatoes at each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That would be fun too.
It's just like a national food fight. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, so that was the first date round. Fantastic first date. Your wife did great. You did a great job probably on your first date. It's probably been a minute since you've been on a first date.
It has definitely been. But although whenever we don't go on a date for like 2 months, things are busy or I'm on the road or she's crazy and the kids, whenever we come back on a date, she always says, okay, we got to treat this like a first date. So we actually do go on first dates. She makes me ask all these questions. She asks me all the questions. Okay. And it's actually kind of fun.
I love that. Sounds good. Yeah. What's your favorite first date question? If you don't mind me putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no. My favorite first date question is, it's not a question. If I go on a first date, I want to watch somebody eat spaghetti. And that's gonna tell me a lot about who they are. Like, do they use a fork and a spoon? Do they slurp the spaghetti up? Do they how many pieces of spaghetti are they shoving into their mouth at the same time? Like spaghetti is like a tell it all kind of deal. So for any of your listeners that are going to go on first dates, always do it at an Italian restaurant. Always make sure that they order spaghetti, and you can tell whether or not you want to continue to date them after that.
Now, listen, this isn't not to negate what you said, but some of the only dating advice my dad gave me, this is a long time ago, was never take a girl on a first date to an Italian restaurant because there's no cute way to eat spaghetti. You got sauce all over your face.
See, that's it. That is exactly the reason why. Are they wiping their mouth after every slurp of spaghetti? Like these are all like big things that are going to translate into like marriage moments in the future down the line.
You know what? You're just trying to get to who the real person is. You know what? I stand corrected. Everybody go eat some spaghetti right now with your loved ones.
Awesome.
And report back, please. Leave it in the comments. Yes. That'd be fantastic. All right. So that's the first date round. Thank you for being honest with your bucket list there and your Waffle House order. I know that was all telling stuff for you. All right. So the next round is the slow round. This is the round where like if you were an onion, we peel a few layers back and we get kind of to the heart of who you are. Now, again, like we see you on Instagram and we see all this cool things that you've done, but a lot of times, like all we see is people's successes. And so what I want to know is like, what is your favorite failure? What's something that you've done that like it didn't turn out the way you thought it would, but maybe you learned something from it. Maybe that like it's like propelled you in a different direction. But what's your favorite failure?
Yeah, I think maybe recently, I mean, I fail a lot. Like I actually have a journal called my fail journal, and I try once a week to make sure that I put something in it, because I don't want to just keep doing things that I'm good at. I want to fail every week. And so I'm I'm a big fan of failure. I'm a big fan of trying things. But I think one of my better failures, more favorite failures that has grown me was honestly when my 16-year-old daughter started dating this guy. And I really jacked that up. Like I really failed as like the dad that like I spent all this time nurturing this trusting relationship with my daughter, all of this stuff. And dude, this dude starts dating my daughter and I am not with it. I am like not having it. And my wife's like, wait a second, like where's your amazing fathering gone? Like you're suddenly turning into like that caricature of that horrible dad that's trying to scare the boyfriend. This isn't you, And so I failed big time with him, with my daughter, with my wife, with my other daughter, her sister, in that. And what that did is it set me up for, okay, I really have to like redefine what I think the father of a daughter who's beginning to date looks like. I need to take it off of what I've seen on TV and really actually lean into the relationship with the boy. And man, if it wasn't for that failure, I don't think I would have maybe had such an accelerated relationship with him. And then my other daughter who started dating, and then literally now, like those, like I am praying they don't break up, because I half the time love the boys more than I do the girls. So yeah, I think that was a good failure for me. Like I failed on that initial competency of having a boy date my daughter. And now I think I'm better. So.
Yeah. So I've got two little boys, 5 and 8 right now. And so something that I'm actively doing is just watching parents that are a few steps ahead of me. Has your son started dating yet, or is that?
No, he is not yet. So
still on the horizon.
I've noticed that, I think any child psychologist would tell you that, like, boys are just behind in maturity than girls are. So whereas my daughters, I felt like okay with them dating at 16, 17, no way in H double hockey sticks am I letting that boy date while he's living under my roof. He's going to have to get a little bit more, So I'm just kidding. He's been he's awesome, but he hasn't started dating yet. So we're still kind of on the precipice of that.
Yeah. So again, you're a few steps ahead of me on all things parenting. So you said earlier that like you spent this whole 16 years ahead of time, like building like a trusting relationship between you and your daughters. What was that for you?
Yeah. It's a lot of making sure that they see the humanity in you. A lot of them not seeing perfect parents. I actually had my son on an episode of my podcast maybe a year ago. And on that episode said, hey, are there some, like, how did you feel about this when I decided to do this in your life? And it was kind of in public on display. And he's like, yeah, I didn't really love it, and then I was like, you know what? I need to tell you, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for, and so I think there's just been a lot of that. I think they know that their parents are, we make mistakes and we own them, and we're not trying to be perfect, but we are trying to help them. So a lot of trust. I actually just got done right before this podcast interview with you. I was recording a podcast for my podcast with Dr. Henry Cloud, and he just got done writing a book on trust, and it comes out in a couple weeks. But when he was explaining it, I'm like, man, like if more parents could really lean into how to build trust with their kids. You're not trying to, when you're raising your kids, you're not trying to make friends to have like great friendship relationship with your kids. You just want a trusting relationship with their kids where they trust that if you say something, that's what's going to happen, good or bad, and I just think that's the ticket for parenting that a lot of parents maybe are missing, is that trust piece.
Yeah, I feel like I just got a random like master class that I wasn't expecting, asking a question about failure, but it led into that. I'm gonna sit and chew on that for a little while, and probably have to say some apologies to both of my boys and my wife. And the thing on that same line is just like, I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and they were talking about how in parenting that grace has to like be on both sides, that everybody's learning how to parent and be parented. And so that I'm going to chew on that for a little bit. All right. So you just released a book called How to Human, and number one, that's awesome. Congratulations on releasing another book. I love people like you that you could be stingy with your story and your stories, but instead you choose to share them with people. So thank you, number one, for doing that.
You're welcome.
So with How to Human, I think a lot of times we just make assumptions on things. And so what is a question that you wish people, and I know that's a wide brush, but what's a question that you wish more people would ask?
I feel like I wish people would ask what their role is. I want to say this right, because the book How to Human, like 3 ways to share life beyond what distracts, divides, and disconnects us. I feel like when people hear that, they think, oh, I know who needs to read this book. I know somebody that needs to figure themselves out so that they can come back and heal the relationship with me. I know. And I just wish that more people would start asking the question of themselves, okay, what do I need to do? Like what are the steps I need to take to be more human? Maybe to people that have dehumanized me. What's my role in all of this? And so, I just really wish more. And I think, that's where I lead people to in the book is to ask themselves that question. So I think that's the question I would love for people to start asking, not just necessarily of me, but of themselves, as they're reading the book. Is like, okay, Lord, like I know I'm not doing this human thing perfectly. Show me some ways that I can really start humaning well again. And I think that would be the question.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, there's that old TikTok noise. Is it me? Am I the drama?
Right, and, exactly.
I think that's a lesson again that I've been learning myself recently. Like again, just being a husband, and like that's one of the foremost relationships in my life, but like I absolutely have not gotten that one right. And and there's a lot of times where I'm like, I really wish my wife's name's Kat. I really wish Kat would do this. I really wish Kat would do that. And then if I can take that step back and ask myself, like, but wait, what am I doing? Who am I in this situation? And there's a million other relationships, a million other situations that I probably could step back and ask myself the question, like, is it me? What can I be doing? How can I show love in this situation? How can I be human in this situation? And yeah, you're absolutely right.
It. I love it. It's good.
Taking a little self reflection in there. All right. One last question. And this is the question we ask everybody on the podcast. And it can be as small as learning to tie your shoes different or as big as learning geophysics or something cool like that. But what's something you're learning right now?
Oh, I love that question. I'm learning a lot. And something I'm learning right now, this is gonna seem trite, but I am trying to solve the Rubik's Cube in less than 60 seconds. That is what I'm trying to learn to do right now.
All right. So this is like a happy coincidence, but I'm just trying to learn how to solve it at all.
Oh yeah. So my 16-year-old son taught me in December how to solve the cube. And I went from 4.5 minutes to 3 minutes to 2 minutes to 1 minute 45 to 1 minute 30. And now I've got to change the algorithm that I'm using in order to get faster. But like, that's something that I'm learning. And I'm actually also learning because I turned 50 this year. I'm trying to learn 50 new things by the time I turn 50. So that's one of them. So.
Okay. That's really cool. It's always fun to answer on that one. Cause like, it's been things like I'm trying to learn patience or like how to train my dog to Rubik's Cube or
I love that question.
That's awesome. And never in a million years would I have thought it was going to be Rubik's Cube. So
there you go. Boom.
That's great. All right. So we are at the final round of questions. That's the questions that I asked you to grab the paper for.
Yeah, I got paper
so
right
this
here.
is the round where we will try to see if maybe you and I are a little bit alike. And so, all right. So like we've figured out everybody else in the world and if maybe we're like them and maybe how we're a little bit all alike, but let's just see if maybe you and I are alike. And so these are a couple of quick this or that style questions. We'll do them one at a time. All right. When you go on a date, are you going to sit on the same side of the booth or opposite side of the booth as your wife? Same side or
first
facing?
Date or any date?
Any date.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, what do I do?
Same
Just
side or
lift it up?
facing each other? Yeah, I need to write mine down real quick. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put facing. You put facing. Look at us. Look at you.
Boom.
Yeah, I
like it.
I don't know if I trust people that sit on the same side of the booth.
No, my wife doesn't even want me to touch her in bed when we're going to sleep. So why in the world would I sit on the same side of the booth with her?
Oh man. I was actually joking with my wife the other day. We were joking with some friends and she reminded me of when she was pregnant. She like her body was just like on fire all the time. Yeah. And apparently I called her lava toes because she would like, if she would put her feet on me, it was just 1,000,000 degrees. And so, but we've come to terms on all that now, but yeah, I get it. I want to look into your eyes and I want to enjoy watching you slurp up your spaghetti. So
yes, I love it. I love it.
All right. On chips at a Mexican restaurant, are you going with queso or guac as your chip dip?
Oh, okay.
Let me know when you're ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I went queso. You went guac. Oh,
guac.
Man. All right. Guac is a divisive one. What do you got there?
Here's the problem. Queso isn't. I'm half Mexican. My mom's Mexican, and queso. If you were to go to any Mexican in the world and say I want some queso, they would give you a block of cheese, not whatever this contraption is that's at fake Mexican restaurant. So like that's actually not even queso. I don't know what that is. It's some Texas thing that they made up, but queso is cheese. It's just a block of cheese. So it's not even really Mexican. That's why I go with guac, because that's actually really Mexican. There you go.
I don't see the problem with having a block of cheese either.
Yeah. I'll get off my soapbox.
All right. So in your, what's your dream guacamole? What's that for you?
Oh, like where, who makes that?
Where or like if you're making guac, what's going in the guac to make it?
I actually don't even know like what it goes in guac to make it. But my friend Brian Hale, my best friend on planet Earth, I'm gonna have to tell him to listen to this podcast. So I'm giving him props. Makes the best guac on planet Earth that I've ever had. It is amazing. So it's his guac. Like his guac is the guac that I want.
All right, Brian, if you're listening, thank you, number one, for listening. But yeah, this podcast was sponsored by Brian's Guac. So for all your guac needs, check out Brian's Guac. All right, if you go camping, are you going to go camping in a tent or an RV?
Oh God, that's easy.
All right, let me know when you're ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I went RV. You went tent. Oh my goodness.
100%. Listen, I love the outdoors, and I was the guy that, when my parents, we'd go on vacation, like if we stayed in a fancy hotel, like a Holiday Inn with a balcony, super fancy, I would sleep outside on the balcony. Like I just love sleeping outside. I love it. I'm a big backpacker. My wife and I have hiked all over, a lot of backpacking trips. Put me in a tent all day long, because I can get a tent somewhere that I can't get an RV. No shade on the RVers. I love a good RV. Like I love a good RV, but that's not really camping. Camping isn't an RV. That's like a hotel on wheels. Like camping, you have to be camping. You have to be sleeping outside and you're hearing the crickets and the whole thing.
Here's my deal. I went camping with my oldest son. It's probably 3 or 4 years ago. I'm in my mid 30s. And when I woke up that first morning, I felt like I was in my mid 80s.
I get it. Yeah. It hurts.
Me on the ground is not great.
Yeah, no, it definitely, and it's getting harder. It'll get harder and harder the older you get. But there's something about being able to hike 8 miles up to this canyon, and then you unzip that tent, and ain't no RV going to be able to give you that view. It's awesome.
But listen, when I open up my RV window or my RV door, and then I'm right in Walmart's parking lot, that's its own kind of magic. So
that is its own kind of magic. You got that right. Yeah.
All right. 2 more here. All right. This one is it's a little cringe, so please don't be too mad at me. Would you rather have lukewarm coffee or cold mashed potatoes? This is what is the lesser of two evils here.
Oh yeah.
Both of these sound horrible to me.
Yeah, they both sound bad.
I'm sorry for doing this to you. Here you go. I went coffee. You went mashed potatoes. Carlos, we're not doing too hot here. What's going on, man?
The best friendship is slowly but surely falling apart. So
it happened to John and Paul. And
I don't do lukewarm coffee. That's why I have this this Ember mug. Because this mug keeps my coffee at 143 degrees nonstop. I never have to microwave it. It just stays hot. So yeah, I'm definitely the anti lukewarm coffee guy.
I feel you. I feel like with my lukewarm coffee, I don't know. I feel like that happens more often than not. And who wants cold mashed potatoes?
I get it.
All right. So what's in your coffee? What's your go-to coffee drink?
Just black coffee. Just black coffee.
You're one of those, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm literally like that crotchety police chief in the South Bronx that just drinks black coffee that's like 2 days old. I just want black coffee. I don't care about the beans. I don't care where it was, roasted or how long it was. Just give me some of that black coffee and I'm good.
All right. This is a lot of I've opened up my eyes a lot to you in this last round of questions here.
I love it.
I wish you had some opinions on some things. I may have a few opinions. All right. One last thing. All right. And this one, again, this is a divisive one. And so your whole platform built on like unifying, this might ruffle some feathers. Let me know.
Okay.
But toilet paper, are you going over or under?
Yeah. So I definitely know what I'm doing here.
You got opinions on this too? I feel it.
Not as strong.
Okay.
I do have an opinion.
We're going over. I went over. Look at us. We're back together.
We're back
reunited,
together.
and it feels so good.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. I just feel it's easier to rip over. You can tear it off over better. So
there's a meme or a picture I saw online. It's been years ago where there was a spider hanging underneath it that you wouldn't see if it went under. And that gave me some nightmares. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that either.
Carlos,
I think I've said it a few dozen times at this point, but thank you so much for being here and being on the podcast. It means the world.
Dude, thanks so much for having me.
Listen, if there's people out there who maybe this is their first time hearing from you and they want to join the Insta Familia and they want to just get to know you a little bit better, get to know more about you, read your books, where's a great place for them to connect with you? Yeah,
if they want to hang out with me, they're probably going to find me in a tent, eating some guac, facing them in a booth somewhere. But no, you hang out with me on Instagram, Loswhit, LOSWHIT, is where I spend a lot of my time. For now, who knows? Instagram may just go up in a ball of flames at some point. We'll have to find out where to hang out somewhere else. But that's where I'm at, hanging out every single day.
I love it. Just the other day you did a dad fit. I did. That was hot stuff there. So
I did the morning dad fit. So my daughters are always doing their little OOTD outfit of the day. And I was like, I got to do a fit check. So here we go. I got my pajamas, my slippers, and my Falcons jersey.
My favorite part of it was you were wearing two different kinds of slippers because you had lost one of the other ones. That was fantastic.
That's the thing about having two dogs in the house is if you leave your slippers out, bro, they're probably in the backyard under a bush somewhere. So, yeah.
Again, Carlos, thank you so much for being here. And for everyone listening, thank you for joining us on Maybe You're Like Me. You guys have a great day. Thanks, Carlos.
Awesome. Thanks, man.